It's the time for the package from China. Let's go. Many different ways to play nowadays, and this is one of those many ways. But it also comes with a built-in Pi, because this is the portable Pi. Yeah. So let's take a close look at the first one. You have all kinds of different versions when it comes to the button configuration, the joysticks, but also when you're looking at the kind of software you're going to get. Both devices will come with the same kind of parts. And I mean with parts, extra buttons and a screwdriver, because you need to assemble the ball top and tighten it up. Then of course we're going to get ourselves like the 12-volt power supply with a very long cord and a barrel jack connection, because this is needed for powering on the device itself. But let's take a close look at the machine itself, because that thing is quite nice. Very nice. I like it. I like it a lot. The case design is something they have been reusing for quite a long time now, but they did upgrade the internal parts. So one of the features I think is pretty damn cool, that we can also use the HDMI port for having different options. So at the back we're going to find ourselves different connections. We have an audio jack out, of course the input for the barrel jack connection, the power, the 12 volt, the SD card, depending what kind of model, and of course what kind of brand, because this is using, I think it's original SanDisk, but this is the Ultra 128GB, and over here we're going to get different connections. Yeah, it's just the Pi actually that you're going to get at the back, but we do have like 4 ports that we can use for extra controllers, and of course the RJ45 connection Ethernet for connecting it with internet. They also implemented an extra fan for getting some cooling. But the overall quality when it comes to the case, I really like it, because it's made out of full of metal. Also when you're looking at the hinges over here, it's metal, so it's not like cheap plastic fantastic. The overall quality is really great, to be honest. And of course it's a portable device, so what you can do is removing this cover, come on, there we go. And here we can implement the batteries, so make this thing really portable and giving you a couple of hours of playtime. The only downside is that we're not going to get ourselves most of the time batteries do. I think it's to do with transport and batteries, it's not allowed. So what you're going to get is nothing. So you need to get yourself like these 18640 batteries. Take note, like finding original ones is going to be a challenge. So yeah, good luck with that. So I wish to just like implement them complete, so it would be so much more easier just to plug and play, charge this thing and go. But how this case works is quite genius. You need to remove the ball top that also locks the system itself. You can just open it up. I must say there's quite a nice resistance to it, so you don't need to be, let's say, afraid that it's going to be dropping down. And then we need to assemble the bar top. The ball top. I need the bar top, the ball top, but okay. The thing is, also when you're going to assemble the ball top and you want to tighten it up, you need to remove the 4 parkers over here. And that's the reason why you're going to get yourself like a screwdriver. Okay, but when you're looking at the device itself, you have different versions. So we have also like the full standard kit, but I think it's worth money because, you know, the joysticks they're using are okay. I do love to call them a wiggle stick because they don't have like a very nice feel to it like a Sanwa. And yeah, the buttons, man, the buttons. They are not super bad or something, but I've been playing a lot with them. But they do have like this very cheap feel click to it and a very long travel. And I'm personally not the biggest fan of this. But let's take a close look at the other one. The configuration is almost the same when it comes to the case itself. But also the resistance when it comes to the hinges is all the same. It's exactly the same box. The biggest difference are the buttons and the joystick. And I can tell you that a couple of dollars you're asking, in my opinion, is really worth it. But when you're looking at both of the freaking devices, there is really minor difference, especially when it comes to the joystick. The Sama plays a little bit better in my opinion, and the buttons is also like a personal preference. Some people really love like these very clicky and sensitive buttons, and some just want to have like the long travel. That is something you need to decide for yourself. But when looking both devices, yeah, there is not like a big of a difference, beside the joystick and the buttons. The display are mostly the same, so what I understand of, the same kind of a case. Yeah, the other thing is, we have like different sizes when it comes to the image, or at least the SD card itself. And not to forget, some of them will run with Recalbox. The Raspberry Pi 4 combined with this portable casing is the ultimate way to have your retro games on the go. And of course you're having handhelds, but for let's say a mini arcade, it is pretty damn awesome. Because the Raspberry Pi 4 is just one mean retro emulation machine. This is giving us way new possibilities for emulating, let's say, newer systems like Dreamcast, PSP, PlayStation 1. A lot of systems that were not running very good or not at all on the Raspberry Pi number 3. So that is a big improvement. Very curious how PSP is going to run, so we're going to try out a 3-dimensional game. But did notice that there's quite some sound difference between the emulators, so that's a little bit of a disappointment. The thing that I find the Pi 4 interesting for is that you can play Sega Dreamcast nowadays. So that is something that we're going to try out, and let's see how good it runs on the little Pi Portable. With round 2 we are going to switch with the HDMI to TV out, so let's see how that looks. Dual display, I must say, it runs pretty smooth. Where I am not the biggest fan of a Raspberry Pi inside a portable, I think it's a very cool configuration, especially with the Pi 4. You can run so much more than, let's say, some of the Pandora's boxes, and of course the emulation performance is so much better here and there. Let me know in the comments what you think of a Pi inside the box. Bring it with you with this kind of a portable arcade. Thanks for watching, consider subscribing, hit the little bell, and it would be great to see you in the next video.